All right, welcome back. My name is Christine Richards, and I'm the Research Director for Zpryme. And we are thrilled to have Congressman David Price here with us from North Carolina's 4th District. So welcome, Congressman Price.
Thank you. Good to be here.
All right, so I have a few questions for you I want to ask today. The first is, how is the Research Triangle and really more broadly North Carolina really start to become a catalyst for innovation in education, energy, and technology in the U.S.?
The history goes back over 50 years, where some leaders in this state in education and research, in government, in the private sector, made a decision that North Carolina was going to diversify its economy and was going to particularly focus on research and on the potential of our great universities to attract research funding and to spin off research products that could create businesses and jobs. And the partnership that represented, not being dogmatic about government, not being overly dependent, or certainly not demonizing government, but understanding that government was a positive partner and that there were building blocks that government needed to deliver: strong public education, community college training, research, public-private research enterprise, a good infrastructure, all the rest of what has gone into this Research Triangle success story. It really positions us very well for the energy revolution. You know, we're not the oil patch or the coal country or anything like that. But we're at the forefront right now of the smart grid research and other energy-related research. We have companies doing great with solar power, and there's a real forward momentum here that is building on the Research Triangle success story that I just described, but also is taking it in new directions.
Yeah. So, I mean, where do you see things going in the coming years with the Research Triangle and clean energy and what's been happening here?
Well, I'm very optimistic about the future, and the energy future in particular. We need to do some things in terms of encouraging conservation, energy efficiency. We need to level the playing field in terms of the taxes and other incentives we offer to energy. And I said to the audience here for this conference today that that's not just a formula for more incentives or more subsidies. In fact, solar power is becoming more and more self-sufficient as a business proposition.
Yeah.
And we need, I think, to get rid of some of these obsolete tax breaks and subsidies for the extractive industries, things that they've depended on for a long time, for far too long.
Yeah.
So we have some policy challenges. I still think there needs to be a comprehensive energy strategy for this country, greenhouse gas reductions in particular. The current political climate makes that difficult, but there are ways in which we can still move forward and find agreement on energy efficiency, sustainability, other goals that I think we really need to pursue.
Yeah. So, I mean, the elections are just past us, and like you talked about, I mean, you know, it is a tough political climate out there. I mean, what actions do you see around, you know, climate change or any sort of energy policy? What do you see happening in 2015?
Well, that kind of straightforward confrontation of the problem, that kind of public understanding of the science and of where we're headed if we don't do something more ambitious and more comprehensive. That is hard to be optimistic about right this minute, especially given the outcome of the election.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. One of our political parties has taken a sharp ideological turn. Republican Party now has huge numbers of climate deniers, has certainly many people who won't vote for a comprehensive approach to greenhouse gas emissions or to energy policy. So we will continue to work on that. One of these days, I think the need will be evident. I just hope it doesn't come too late.
Yeah.
When you think about the perspective of 100, 150 years from now, what people will look back and say, what were they thinking? Why didn't they act? I think this leads the list.
Yeah. Well, you talked a little bit about the role of consumers and really, you know, providing that education. So, I mean, how can policymakers and technology companies, energy companies, you know, how can they really improve their messages to get customers involved in this energy conversation and really understand why it's so important?
There are small ways, I think, that can move us forward and can attract consumers of all political stripes.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody cares about lower gas prices, of course, but the conversation needs to go way past that. We at the moment have to have lower gas prices. That's good, but you know, there's a argument to be made in terms of household efficiency, in terms of more efficient appliances, more efficient automobiles. There are ways that we could weatherize our homes, and on and on. I mean, there are things that apply on a very practical level to people's everyday lives that I think need to be made clear. And those tend to be the things where the political divisions aren't as great. There is, beyond that, though, a need for public education on the broader challenges that we face. And here I think there's a good deal of irresponsibility abroad, where people simply shut their eyes to what science tells us. And that's very dangerous. I mean, it's deceptive and irresponsible with respect to what kids are learning in school, for example, and to general public knowledge. But it's also dangerous because it postpones the day when we can get a political consensus on some pretty difficult things that our country needs to do.
So how do you see that consensus being built? I mean, given some of the divisions that are going on?
Well, I think we know we have some incremental gains we can make, and the response to conservation incentives, to chances to get more miles to the gallon, and so on and so on. Those things are things I think we know how to capitalize on.
Yeah.
But the difficult matter is getting onto these broader agenda items. There, we have some very committed people, and actually we have fairly favorable overall public opinion. But the forces of reaction and resistance, unfortunately, have a foothold in the political system right now. So no matter what public opinion is, it's hard to get action. That has to change.
Yeah.
That has to change, but it's going to take some time.
Well, we appreciate your efforts so much, Congressman Price. Thank you for stopping in and talking with us.
Sure, thank you.